Hey everyone, this is Mr. Everything. I guess you could say this is more of a rant video. For me, I've been looking for one of these multi-tools, mostly because I always carry a Swiss Army knife on me. And just for work, I get tired of using this blade just to cut like boxes and dull it on things like that, you really don't need a quality blade for. Not the biggest deal. These are very reliable and you could always sharpen it. But really all I use this for is the tweezers, and probably more than anything, this little toothpick. I find all kind of things to use that for. And then, of course, just the scissors, probably more than anything else, is those three things. But sometimes it's handy just to have a little Phillips screwdriver on you, which you don't get with at least that model of Swiss Army. So I was looking at these multi-tools, and I bought this one at my local Rural King. I purchased this one at Walmart, and both disappoint me in different ways. They were both around $10. I believe this was maybe 12, and I think this one was like $9.90. I still have the packaging for this one, the Sheffield, which you could just kind of get it's kind of how they display them, what they come with. No big deal, you can always look that up. Neither of them are up to the quality that I was hoping. I was originally going to buy a Leatherman. I figured it'd probably be $25, $30. And then I saw at Rural King they go for like $75 and up. And the only one that was $25 was a little tiny thin one of just a few little knives and maybe like a flathead. Which, to me, I'd rather just get something like this. So this is a more cheaper one. I didn't care for this finish. This has the exposed spring, which they say isn't as reliable or durable. It has more of a metallic smell that you get on your hands after you use it. But it does look okay. I do like just the silver finish, although it does look a little cheap. Yeah, I like this coating. I think this one was better as far as that goes, but I like the design of it. And you do get pretty much everything that you would need, like saw blade. Sometimes I use those. Phillips, which is one of the main things. Knife. A flathead, which that one's a little harder to get out of there. Like a serrated blade. A different sized, well, this is the can opener. Different sized flathead. And then a file with a little ruler on there. And then your pliers. And they have wire cutters. And one thing I like is that little hole in there. So you could strip a wire too. I don't know how good they would work, but at least that's there. But the problem with this one more than anything else was just the way it's designed. You have to really reach your finger in there to get that. And when I bought it, this flathead was up against this one. And I actually took it apart, and there's tension on it, and these screws, some of them were stripping. It fell all apart. It's really hard, and I had to rearrange them, which it just seems, you'd wonder if it was used or repackaged. Just the fact that instead of having the Phillips there so you can reach into here, it had this flathead which would block this little indentation for your fingernail. Just again, just the fit and finish was terrible. So I was actually able to fix it, so now I kept it. But I bought this one in the meantime. I really like this anodized coating. You don't get that metal smell. It's a little slippier in some ways, but this one's slippery too, but it has these notches and this like knurling on the inside here, which gives you some grip. But this one's much better made. Again, the internal spring. But you see, this one doesn't have that little wire cutter there. It has it, but it doesn't have the thing to strip it. So you it's give and take. Now this one was designed much better. They have a little finger area here on the outside. Makes it easier to pull your tools out. You pretty much get the same selection, but there are some little differences here. And then there's your knife. And what I like about this is these locks. You don't have to worry about it ever coming back, which the other one doesn't do. And you have to push that in to close that knife. These are a little bit easier. I think the tip's designed a little better. And if we can get in focus, there's indentions, and the indention's there. And that kind of locks it into place. It's just not a true lock, but it's much more than what that one is. And just, they made it, it's more well thought out. Closer to, in my opinion, being American made. But I think they are both made in China, but this one just has more of a, and you can see it's a little stiff around here. This one uses an Allen key or Allen wrench, to where these use Torx bits. I have both, but I haven't messed with the tension on these to try and loosen it a little bit, but as you can see, that one sticks a little. They both come with these pouches. This is the Silent Strike one from Earl King. The second I got it, I pulled it, and this ripped off, so I tried my best to try and stitch that back together, and now it's pretty durable. This one is much more durable. I do like that they come with this, but it's kind of bulky. I don't want to have that many things on my belt, but it is nice that they both come with it. Some slight differences. The stitching on this, their logo, is pretty sloppy. That one looks better, but this one, the loop didn't tear as easy as this one, so it's kind of give and take with both of them. And one of the biggest differences, I like how with this one you can keep it closed and you can still access everything. And if it wasn't for that, like, this would be all the complete winner. But this one, it's all inside, so now you have to open this up. Say you want, well, I don't want the file, but we'll just use it. You gotta close it back to get to it. And when you're done, you gotta open it back up. Not a deal breaker, but it would be nice if it was, everything was on the outside, like this one. So this is probably the easier buy, because you can find this at your local Walmart. They have like a one in the camping section, which is much bigger, bulkier, and I don't think it's as well made. So I'd probably go with the Sheffield one. This is the Silent Strike, which I threw away the packaging for, but this is Earl King. That one might be not as common to find. For $10, I mean, I could see getting one, but I think you're better off just buying a name brand, or maybe finding a used Leatherman. Well, I think on Walmart you can find them as low as $40. I mean, something like this is nice to have, but if you have the money, I'd probably recommend it better, because they both kind of have their pros and cons. I mean, I carry this one on me. I'll probably leave this one in my car, but they aren't as good as I would have hoped. So it is definitely, you get what you pay for. Both get the job done, but they do have their annoyances. So if you're interested in Multitool, just know this is what you get in this $10 price point. So that may be fine for you, but you may want to go and get something more expensive. So I kind of went on a rant, but maybe this helps someone out. If so, I appreciate it. So thanks for watching, and you'll see me in the next one.